Hello everyone, this is Terrence of the TSKJesusFeed.com, and in this particular vlog number 4, vlog number 4, um, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to talk about the the issue of creating content and being financially tied to it, okay? So there are numerous circles where not just the libertarian circles, but like the quote Christian circles, and what's going on with the Southern Baptist Convention, and not just Southern Baptist Convention, but the issue of just being financially tied to a particular entity, and you're you can't speak your mind. You can't address certain issues, and I believe that is a problem, that people are in this predicament where they can't say certain things because they might actually get fired, or they might lose support or whatnot. Okay, so if you're creating content online and you're financially tied to that content, um, and I'm sure there's like people who do this, and I'm sure that people are doing this, creating content online, um, and and are just fine with it. But there are certain things that you might not be able to say, or not necessarily do or say, especially say, because you're financially tied to that, whatever that financial tie you are in. So which leads me into this kind of this whole point, why financial freedom is such a big deal, or not necessarily such a big deal, but the issue of being not financially tied to the content you're creating online. And so I found circles, different circles, and different, because I'm as a Reformed Christian, noticed things of what's in the Reformed Christian side of things, and and also being a kind of a former libertarian slash kind of a libertarian, um, notice things that could theoretically be needs to be talked about, because um, if you're financially tied to, like, say you're financially tied to content that you're creating, um, you can be in a situation where your support would dry out if you say things that needs to be said in a particular um, group, or a particular movement, or a particular um, like a religious group, or even a libertarian movement, or whatnot. And this applies to any particular group of people that that is creating content. And so it's kind of important not to put all of your eggs in one basket, so to speak. If you're a content creator, and yeah, I'm kind of a content creator, but at the same time, this is not my bread and butter, and this will probably never be my bread and butter. Just because there are so many other content creators that does a better job than me. But whatever, it's just a hobby. So, um, and so if you're financially tied to something and you need to speak up about something, um, then you're kind of in that weird limbo stage. If you speak out, you might not get as much support, which is why one might need to have like that other third financial, um, like that second or first or not necessarily second or third financial backing, so to speak. So like, what do I mean about that? Like, do you have like, so there's a couple of different ways you can go about this. You can just have a side income revenue stream that you're working on, like through the stock market, or some kind of side hustle that you're doing that is totally unrelated to the content you're creating, or you have enough like just stash of money for like a good 6 months if you get fired and you have to like do that. Even still, the whole aspect of like you have the whole Dave Ramsey approach is kind of I'm sure there's like situations where there's an extreme situations out there that it does happen, and so and really for me there's a like so if I theoretically lose my job for whatever reason or it's not providing the income that I need, um, I can always kind of like quickly go back into fast food and do 60 to 80 hours a week again. Is that the preferred method? No. Will that pay my bills? Yes. So, having two jobs in the fast food industry is kind of like my mental backup. Even though that's not what I want to do necessarily, but that's kind of my mental backup. And really having a mental plan B of like, okay, so what if this happens or what if that happens? There's at least something there that you're already kind of thinking. Um, like that's like probably 75% of the issue of like, okay, so if I lose this revenue stream, or if I lose this business, or I lose this like a lot of clients, um, then Plan B is to do whatever Plan B is. And so just having that mindset of like being kind of mentally in terms of getting resources to yourself in terms of making money, you kind of have to be that kind of like that have that flexible mindset, at least at the very least have that flexible mindset of okay, so if I can't do this for X amount of like if I can't do this for whatever reason anymore and it's not bringing in enough revenue, um because I said this and this and this and I believe in this and this and this, but I can't say it because for whatever reason, there's always that backup. Now there's always that mental backup. So that's kind of what I want to talk about in this particular vlog because you kind of have to like, for me, I have that mental, um, that mentality of that backup that one would need to do because I don't want to be in a situation where where I don't have any job and I'm not even thinking about it and I'm kind of doing the whole traditional mindset of getting another job, but like I have fast food experience, so I can easily reapply those particular past skill sets to for like 6 months to a year, and then as I can get back into that game almost right away. Like that whole fast food game, I just need to apply it to like 5 different fast foods, see if they take me, and I just need to like figure out like the more mornings and then the more mornings, afternoon, and then like more that weekends stuff. But anyways, yeah, that's what looked I'm looking at as a um, as this is just a hobby of mine and I just want to have fun with this. So that's why I'm doing this. Will this pay the bills? Probably not. Will I want this to pay the bills? Probably not. So, because it's too volatile. Like to me, it's just too volatile for me to rely on creating content on something that I'm not even gonna have that desire to create that much content. You need like if I'm like doing this for 6 months, creating like content, and people are actually paying me to create content, and 6 months down the road, I don't really want to do this, but yet people are paying me to do content, so I'm in this mental like I don't really want to do this anymore, but people are paying me to do this. So that's just kind of my thoughts and that's how I would be approaching. Now, if you enjoy creating content, and that is what you want your bread and butter to be, fine, go ahead do it, and go ahead and do the best you can possibly be. But in terms of content creation, it's a really tough market just because anybody can do this. Like anybody can have like a camera, a cell phone camera, just even a crappy Soho camera, they can still create content. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about. Always kind of have that, always have plan B. And so this is just my thoughts, this is just my ramblings about the whole situation. So thank you so much for watching this and have a wonderful day.